Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Every year we traditionally do an end of year review where I talk about what we've achieved during this year and refer you back to some of the videos just in case you've missed them. Now 2020 has been a very strange year, and the sooner it's over the better. Obviously COVID has affected many different people across the world, and I hope that this nightmare ends and that everything can go back to normal in 2021. For me personally, it has been a relatively good year. Really like to thank my Evolve Eventuri 660 family for really pushing on and getting on with the work as much as they can. First of all, traveling wise, it's been a complete write-off this year. I normally travel a lot for work, visiting distributors and going to trade shows. So the only trade show we went to this year was Tokyo Auto Salon right at the beginning of January. Seems like a lifetime ago. It was a great show as normal. But the highlight for me was actually seeing the GR Yaris for the first time. If you guys haven't seen that video, we'll put that up so you can check it out. But just a brief synopsis, I was at Tokyo Auto Salon, saw huge crowds around the car, couldn't figure out what they were there for. When I went over, I saw the basic recipe for the car and I was like, yeah, that's going to be special. And a lot of people were laughing about it. They said, how can you get excited about a Toyota Yaris? But look, we're here now, the car's here, which I'll come to later on, and yeah, people are very, very impressed with it. So it was quite clear by March that the world was in a bit of trouble with this new virus that was spreading around everywhere. Geneva was cancelled. We had to close for most of April. I'd like to thank all of our customers for actually continuing to support us through that period and buying products that we could mail order. Everyone was in lockdown, so I think people were bored at home, yet they still had money to spend, and they did continue to spend on their cars, and I'm internally grateful for that. We weren't able to actually produce any video content, but what I found was that the content we already had there, because people were off, they were watching that more often. So it kind of did help with our YouTube figures for sure. So car-wise, this year we purchased the GP3, the Toyota Yaris, and also the Japan Red E92 M3. We did actually have an M2 CS on order, but when I saw the final spec and the price, I wasn't convinced it'd be more special than the M2 that we'd built, and I cancelled it and I put that money towards the GP3. If you haven't seen the collection video for that and some of the track work we've done, I'll put a link up so you can check that out. The E92 M3 was something that we were wanting to buy for a long time. And myself and Bilal, as soon as the Eventuri Plenum came out and we heard it on the development car and customers' car subsequently, we're like, we need that noise in our lives. We both really like Japan Red, so a K401 car came up and we snapped that up towards the beginning of the year. We actually haven't had time to put the plenum on, but we do have a beautiful matte plenum to go on the car, and I'm hoping to get that done early next year so we can make a video on the install and show you guys what the matte plenum looks like on that car. The GP3 was meant to come in March. Again, that got delayed because of COVID, and I think we ended up getting it about 3 months late. Later than we were expecting, but again, that's been a really good car. We took it to track more or less straight away, and it was quite obvious that that car was dedicated track car rather than a road car. Normally it's the other way around, and they build a car and they say it's for track and you take it on track and it's not that suited, but this was like a duck to water. It did perform really, really well. And yes, the Yaris arrived and it did not disappoint. The recipe I saw at Tokyo Auto Salon, in my mind, if it worked, it would be amazing. And I tell you, Toyota really have knocked that out of the park. Really impressed with that car. Anyone from our team that's driven it has been really impressed. And I'm really looking forward to developing parts on that car moving forward. In terms of our project car, it's actually been a very, very successful year. I'll start off with the infamous M5. We managed to get that to 1,000 horsepower. Put some really good dragging numbers down, and the best achievement we had with that car this year was actually getting it onto CarWow, where it finally dethroned the Mighty 992 Turbo S, and we did a 10-second flat quarter mile. So I was really impressed with that. Not only the quarter mile, but the way it walked away from the car on the roll race was super, super impressive. We've got more plans for that car next year. We're probably going to take it to around 1,200. So while we're on the off racing season, we're going to go a bit further with the engine build, have some billet manifolds made by our friends at RK and slightly bigger turbos, and hopefully dial that in before March, before the race season starts again. The RS3 that we built for Venturi again did amazingly well. We managed to do 211 miles an hour at VMAX and also did 9.7 quarter mile at Santa Pod on a lower boost map with no prep at all and full weight. So really impressed with that car. Really like to thank Romain at Cyvex and Race Cow for tuning the car for us, iRos for the turbo kit, and also Tim Radley for the engine build. That car came together really well. Took a lot longer than we expected, purely down to COVID again. Everything was just delayed, but we finally got it up and running and it performed really, really well. And last but not least, the F80 M3, also known as Viper. We took that car a little bit further this year. We were chasing 200 miles an hour at VMAX for a long time. We fitted the RK AutoX billet crank hub, also Muscleman turbos, M5 injectors, and we got the car to 202 miles an hour in 1.2 miles. So really impressed with that car. That car's been with us for 3 years now, and I think it is time to let that car go next month to make way for a different project. It's going to be hard because another thing I'm going to come to is the body kit we've designed for that car, and it's just looking fantastic now and performing really well. But as with everything, kind of has to come to an end. We can't keep everything, so we'll see what happens with that car next month. With regards to the F80 M3, I briefly touched on the body kit. So that's a new project that I've been working on for the last year or so. Again, been very delayed. This was meant to be launched in March, but there's just been so many delays with production and prototyping because of COVID again. So finally the Avera kit is ready. I'm really hyped about this product. It looks amazing. It's getting really good feedback, and we're hoping to launch that in January next year. So the first kit we have ready is the F80 M3 and M4, and then we've got F90 M5 to follow. Supra is almost done, and then we're actually going to move slightly into EV. So we've got a Tesla kit on the way and also BMW i3, and we'll also do the Yaris next year. So look out for a whole range of body kits and a completely new brand for us. That's a completely new project between me and Bilal, separated out from the other ones, and we're really excited to see where we can go with that one. On the 660 side of things, it's been a very good year. We've had a couple of new designs that have done very well, mainly being the Shuriken, which we have currently on our M5 and M3. I actually have a set ready to go on the M2, but we just haven't had time to put them on. But I did tease that with the 20s that are on the M3 on the M2, and it did look really, really good. It's a really cool design that works on BMWs. It's very 666M inspired, but I think with a slightly modern twist. On the Mini GP3, again, I made something that was in my mind for ages, and that was inspired by the Union Jack tail lights on the Minis. As soon as that came out, I remembered the old Hartger wheels, and I thought, yeah, we have to do this. And that finally came into fruition. And on the GP3, it looks like an OEM plus wheel, and everyone who sees it thinks that it could have come from factory. And I think that's a really good mark of a good wheel, where you see it and it doesn't look out of place and it could be factory. 2020 has been an amazing year for Venturi again. We're in our 6th year of trading for that brand now, and we released a whole new range of kits this year. So M135i, AMG GTR, we did the charge pipes on the M3 and M4, which have been selling incredibly well, and also the A35 AMG, which released recently. So look out for that. We've got lots of kits in development. That brand keeps going from strength to strength. I'm really impressed that we've been able to take it from where it was, from nothing like 6 years ago, to where it is now. Team continues to do me proud. Bilal is really on top of his game in terms of design, and we're able to design stuff a lot quicker now, prototype them, get them tested and into the market. To end this 2020 review, we did ask on Instagram if any of you guys have got some questions, so I'm going to go through some of these and answer them before wrapping up. So Geordie12018 said, do you see your companies focusing more on EV tuning in 2021? Yeah, and the answer to that is yes. I have intimated that we are making more body kits through the Avera brand for EV cars. I think that's going to be a massive growth market, and we are going to continue to do that on the styling aspect. In terms of tuning, we don't know if it's possible to tune EVs. I assume there is a way of tuning them at the detriment of range, but as there's more cars coming out and we get into it more, we can start looking into that. Baby M Car says, how does Imran maintain such a full and fruity beard? It's just genetics, mate. I don't do anything else. What does the G80 M3 need to improve on to better the F80? Leaving the looks aside, I think it is going to better it based on the amount of traction the car will have. The F80 M3 always struggled with that, especially when you gave it any more power. And also I think it was slightly let down by the basic interior. I think the G80 is going to fix that, but let's see what people think of the front end when it actually comes out. Which is the favorite car in your fleet, from Simon Sabir? I think that's probably obvious from anyone who follows me on Instagram. It is the M2 by far. That's been with us the longest in terms of project cars. I see anyone I can see us not actually selling. Every time I think about selling it or mention it to my family or anyone here, they're like, no, you can't sell that. So I guess it's here to stay, and unless we need to sell everything to keep the business going. Which BMW is best at speed? It's definitely the F90 M5. It's very, very stable. Like, you do over 200 miles an hour and it really doesn't feel like you're doing a lot at all. And here's a good question to finish off the review with, from SAA-TVN, who has an F90 M5. We just did some MSS springs for him actually. He's wrapped the car in purple. It looks pretty cool. So check him out. Plans for the new year. So we're going to grow Ivero. That's going to be my main project for next year, to get the products out there. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is another reason why there's a delay on that product. I've actually got stock here of the F80 M3 and F82 M4 kit, but because Amazon are buying up all the cardboard, I can't actually ship it. So just stuck with the product here and not able to ship it anywhere. So Ivero, then we've teased the design, front end design of the G80 models. That's on the way in concept. As soon as we've got access to a car, maybe when I&D get one in America, we'll go over, scan it, and try and get that product done as soon as possible. Again, I like to mention that it's not a fix. I'm not classing it as a fix. It's just for people who want a more traditional BMW front end. For eVenturi, we've got lots of kits in development, so they're going to be coming out next year. And for Evolve side of things, tuning, we're going to carry on with the F90 M5 for a little bit longer. I am planning on getting an X3M at some point soon, hopefully to replace the F80, so we can start going a bit further on S58 tuning, so we're ready for the G80, which comes in March. And I think that's going to be the main focus of next year, is the S58 engine, especially in the X3M and the new G80 M3, and trying to push that forward and see where we can go on that platform. So that's it for me, guys, this year. I hope you've enjoyed the content that we've been putting out on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys' support, not only on the YouTube views, but to all of our customers who've been supporting us and continue to support us and allow us to get these cool project cars and develop more products and keep pushing forward. Have a great new year, everyone. Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to watch more of our videos, you can watch them over here. If you want to watch what YouTube suggests that you might like from our videos, you can watch them over here. As always, if you haven't already, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. If you've got any questions for us, please drop them in the comments below and we will do our best to answer them for you.